What do you do when corporate America ignores your call? You find other ways to get their attention. Rainforest Action Network works to protect our forests and the natural systems that sustain all living things. You know, tree frogs, kids, you and me, all forms of life on our small and wondrous planet. Rainforest Action Network, also known as RAN, engages, pressures, and ultimately inspires big business to behave more responsibly. No wonder the Wall Street Journal calls them some of the most savvy environmental agitators in the business.
It feels to many of us that, that our government leaders are serving corporate interests rather than the public interests. That most of our economy is based on a model of plunder and exploitation. So a market campaign is based on the basic notion that a free market economy shouldn't be a free-for-all.
You get to vote at best, a couple times a year. You vote every day with your dollars. RAN has perfected a kind of jujitsu with regard to corporate brands. Corporations spend a lot of money, investing in their brands, building them up, so they can make a lot of money. RAN then says, okay, we're going to use that brand, that same investment that you made, to make you make a big difference, to make a positive difference in the world.
Over the last 20 years, RAN has achieved some pretty amazing results. The kind of results you'd never expect from an organization whose budget is just a fraction of a CEO's annual salary. In 1997, Rainforest Action Network asked Home Depot to stop selling wood torn from the world's last old-growth forests. Nicely at first. But when executives stalled and refused, RAN launched a corporate campaign that included shareholder resolutions, hard-hitting advertising, savvy negotiation, and the work of thousands of grassroots volunteers who protested at hundreds of Home Depot stores across America, both outside and inside.
We got the codes for Home Depot's intercom systems, and then we would go into Home Depot stores. Attention shoppers, I'd like to let you know that in aisle 12 right now, you'll find wood that's been ripped from the heart of the Amazon rainforests. It's on sale, actually. It's going fast. On aisle 14, you'll find wood that's coming from the Congo Basin in Africa. It was August 26, 1999. We'd just come back from a big international conference of grassroots activists to put together a campaign plan for the next year to pressure Home Depot some more. First day back from the conference, I come in the office around 9:30, find out that I have a fax in the mail, and there's the fax with Home Depot's policy. Within about 6 months, 8 out of the top 10 home improvement retailers had agreed to not sell or buy or have in their stores any wood coming from an old-growth forest. And so we had a great party.
In 2000, Rainforest Action Network set out to transform Citigroup, the largest financial institution and most profitable company in the world. At that time, the bank was the top funder of the most environmentally destructive projects on Earth.
If we can convince these folks at the top of the largest bank in the world that they need to shift their behavior, then a clear message is going to be sent, and change is going to start to happen right away because their fingerprints are all over all of these industries and projects. So we sent them a letter. We had a meeting within a week of sending the first letter. They thanked us politely and told us we didn't understand the banking industry at all, and said they'd love to talk to us again whenever we had educated ourselves about the reality of the business world. We never lost the clarity of vision that this was the right thing to do. We bought ad space for 72 spots on New York One in the lead up to Citigroup's annual shareholder meeting. We're going to show celebrities cutting up Citibank credit cards and then intersperse that with images of destructive projects that they're invested in around the world. And I think that that ad had aired once or maybe twice that first morning that we had bought space when we got a call from Citigroup. And they said, "Uncle, pull the ad, we'll sit down and we'll start drafting policy with you." They announced their intention to get out of one of the really egregious projects that we had highlighted down in the Peruvian Amazon. And we struck a working relationship. You know, we took 8 months to draft this first policy because we wanted to do it right. Nothing like this had ever come out of the financial sector before.
After 4 years of campaigning, Citigroup announced a sweeping environmental policy that considered the environmental and social impact of its lending practices. It was a stunning victory for the forests and for people around the world. This has led to other financial institutions following suit, with Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, and Goldman Sachs establishing policies that go even further than Citigroup's. RAND also plays fair and regularly takes out full-page ads in the New York Times saying thank you to corporations when they do the right thing. It's a way of raising the bar on big business and raising awareness with their customers and their competition. But there's still more work that needs to be done, a lot more work. In 2003, Rainforest Action Network launched a campaign to jumpstart Ford.
If we're going to stop an oil pipeline in the rainforest, we needed to stop the auto industry from making so many gas guzzlers. In the transportation sector, the auto company that has the worst greenhouse gas emissions per vehicle is Ford Motor Company. That's why we think that if we can jumpstart Ford, if we can turn Ford around, we can have a tremendous impact.
Up to a third of all species around the world would be threatened with extinction by 2050, based on current climate change models.
RAND is taking this message directly to Ford, calling on them to improve fuel efficiency and eliminate tailpipe emissions.
RAND's successes, from Home Depot to Citibank and beyond, the successes give me hope that if we can do this and if we can do that, well, maybe we can do a whole lot more, and maybe we as human beings, maybe there's a whole lot more possible.
RAND campaigns are so effective that they now have major corporations calling them first and asking for assistance in developing new environmental policies. It's why the Financial Times called them Rainmakers. To keep working their magic, RAND needs your support.
Congress can't pass a law to protect old-growth forests. We've gotten 400 companies who have agreed to never buy any wood or paper coming from those forests ever again.
When I tell people that when they give $1 or $100 or $100,000 to RAND, it is going to be incredibly well spent. It is going to not be wasted. It is going to be strategically applied to make real change in the world. And I can say that to people. I can look them in the eye and I can tell them from my experience in my heart that that is true.
RAND is so critical because RAND is at a pivot point. RAND is helping to usher in this new era by putting pressure on the people who have been causing so much of the problems and yet giving them the encouragement to adopt the solutions. They're helping with the overall social U-turn that we need, the ecological U-turn that we need to live in a healthy planet.
We're simply checking out the area for investments of mass destruction. We're concerned that J.P. Morgan Chase may be invested in projects that are a harm to our environment, our climate, the health and safety of our children, and we're here to check it out.